Good morning, Central Baptist Church family, and happy May. It's already May. I don't know what happened to April. It is gone. It flew by, absolutely disappeared from existence. But we're in May, and restrictions are lifting in Oklahoma. We have reason to rejoice. But here we are in Proverbs chapter 28, and I got a question for you. Have you ever hid from someone before? I'm not talking about hide and seek. I'm talking about, have you ever retracted from someone physically or emotionally because of guilt and shame? Because that's what Proverbs chapter 28 verse 1 is talking about. It says there in verse 1, "The wicked flee when no man pursueth, but the righteous are bold as a lion." Whenever you're in sin, whenever you're backsliding, God has put within every man this conscience that gives you guilt and shame for your wrongdoings. And when you've done something wrong, when you're a child, you're ashamed to see your parents, to confront your parents about the situation, all right? And as you get older, that shame towards authority and towards righteousness and definitely towards God only worsens the more we sin. That's just a natural human condition. I can always tell when a teenager is backslidden or in sin because they start hiding from me. Like, not literally hiding at church, like they just don't come to church. And if they are at church, or if I do see them out in public, they will avoid eye contact. They don't want to talk to me. If we do talk, it's a very short and abbreviated conversation. It's very awkward. And our relationship and our dynamic has dramatically changed. It always happens. I mean, teenagers will come in at 7th, 8th grade. We have a great relationship. We're good friends. We're tight. But then as they get older, especially get into high school, they get into sin. Their life starts changing a little bit. And now Brother Tim is not the person that they want to talk to because Brother Tim stands for something that their life doesn't represent any longer, and that is righteousness. Now, I'm not saying I'm perfect and that I exclusively represent righteousness. I'm saying that as a pastor figure, I represent something that a sinful person doesn't want to have anything to do with. So that's why it says that a wicked will flee when no man pursueth, but the righteous are bold as a lion. A righteous person has nothing to be ashamed of. If you have no sin in your life and if you're clean, you have no reason to be afraid. You have no reason to go and defend yourself when on trial. You have no reason to hide from your pastor. You have no reason to hide from your authorities because you have nothing to hide. There's no wrongdoing in your life, and that's why we must live righteously. And I love that Proverbs 28 verse 13 actually kind of continues this thought and kind of helps those who are dealing with shame and guilt. It says in verse 13, "He that covereth his sins shall not prosper, but whoso confesseth and forsaketh them shall have mercy." If you can address your sin instead of just covering it up and ignoring it, you'll be able to overcome your guilt and your shame. You'll be able to become one of those who are righteous, who no longer fears authority, no longer feels like they have to hide from people they once loved and respected. So let's make sure that whenever we have sin in our life, let's not try to cover it up. Let's not try to hide it. Let's not try to ignore what's going on in our lives, which so many people choose to do. Let's not try to choose to ignore past hurt feelings and bitterness and hatred towards others. Let's not forget past sins and offenses. Let's deal with them. Because if we confess and forsake our sin, we'll find mercy and we'll become righteous, who can be bold as a lion. We'll no longer have to deal with that guilt and shame that drives us away from so many people we love.